So this is the new kit for getting started. So for your monster tots in preschool and also learning support. Basically, we've got that it's in a ring. So here on the back of that front cover, you've got the monster routine, just explaining exactly how to do the monster routine, because there are so many steps. Here are your visual prompts, just showing this is what we do. So start with this and just tells you what to do. Then we've got these that you could photocopy, laminate and cut them up to create playing cards. Just take that out. Now this is your template in case you lose your monster strip, because you do get a monster strip you can just cut that's already laminated and everything, but you just can cut it up. But that's your template in case you lose any bits. So then of course we've got the, because a lot of the children in preschool aren't going to be able to draw their own lines and numbers. So we've got, let me just show you, here's a monster strip that I've done, I've velcroed already. So supposing you were to, to build the word sat in monsters, supposing they were to do the word it in monsters, it's a 2-sound word, just there. So supposing they were to go it, then you use your monsters or your monster cards which are part of the pack. So it, sorry, it's a bit difficult doing it, holding it and doing it at the same time. It. So we go from the sounds, the speech sounds, to the graphemes. So that's how it works basically. And when you do your monster strip, I say do it with Velcro because it just means that it's easier to not get any pieces lost. But in case you do, you've got the template. Okay, so we've got 2, take it out, 3, 4, put at pant, 5, it spits, or put at pants. And there you've got your visual prompts, and this is that indestructible stuff. It's the children can write on it, can use it with whiteboard pens and whatever, and then just rub it off. So then we've got on the back here all the visual prompts with the monsters, ip, sip, at, pat, because we need to practice that phonemic awareness before we think about the representations of the speech sounds. But here we've got it with the representations of the speech sounds, sip, sip. Here we've got the rap, sap, pat, tam, pan, tim, pin, ants, nam, pan, nip, sip, tip, pick, ants, nap, sap, tap, tip, nip, bit, ants, pat does lots of ants in his pants, which means that they can do it, and they love the rap. They can do it with the monsters. If they're not sure of the word, they can look at the monsters, and then you might have, when they think they're ready, you might just cover over the little strips the monsters. Here we've got ready for when they're writing them. Take it off. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we've got where they can follow the monster sounds to say the word, circle it on your visual prompts chart. Here's the visual prompts chart. So for example, app, tap. Where's the tap? Circle it. Sip, sip, sip. So they've learnt the associated word for this, and this is phase 1. This is your phonemic awareness. So they're practicing, and it means as well that you're identifying phonemic awareness difficulties, because if there's deficits, they are not going to learn phonics, which is the next part. And if they have those deficits, this is what creates those new pathways in the brain. This is the phonemic awareness intervention. This is your early intervention for dyslexia, because every child with dyslexia has poor phonemic awareness. So we're offering them that early start, not only to identify if they're likely to have dyslexia, but also to do something about it before the child even knows. Follow the monster sounds, say the words, circle the visual prompts. Which prompt did the naughty frog take away? So to, app, tap. Oh, it's there. So they go through and they see which one's missing. And And then this one, follow the monster sound, say the words, circle the visual prompts. What did the naughty speech sound frog do this time? So lots and lots of practice with those very skills they need to be able to read, but without the visual distraction of the graphemes, of having to remember, oh, what's that a picture of? What's the sound, etc., etc. And then what's this one? This is where we're putting it all together. So this is when we're saying, okay, we're going from st, at, and stand. That's the sounds, blending, segmenting, phonemic awareness. Now we're going into phase 2, which is your phonics, which is those representations, because there are 26 letters of the alphabet, but they're used in different combinations to represent the sounds. So like here, this represents s in stan, but later on when they look at a word like sugar and what have you, it doesn't. That would represent a sh, but we're just building it up, we're scaffolding that learning. So we've got stan, and that's what it looks like in a book. And also in your kit, you've of course got real little books to practice it using just those graphemes, so they're called decodable texts. And so it means that they're building it up. So you've got a whole set of these that actually will build up for every grapheme that we have in the 4 code levels. So we've got sentences that we've built from Sapin, but you'll also see that we've got those high frequency words. And we introduced a few high frequency words like is and the in and in the beginning stages in the green code level. So you'll see is, so there, that concept of, well, that in the green code level, the phonics code level, this was a picture representation for s, but in this word is the pin in the pan. Now, just if you're a speech pathologist and wondering why we've got the monster there instead of the schwa, it's just because at the very beginning, the children learn these monsters very quickly, and the concept of the is very easy, and they'll go the and they'll translate into the. As we're sort of in the middle, you know, sort of the beginning to the middle of the purple code level, that's when the children start to distinguish between, well, is it really an or is it the schwa? Is it the sound? Now, just before I forget, in your pack, you've got the 2 packs of monster cards, and you've got all the visual prompt stickers. And this is because you can create your own monster bank. So it's really important for organising these so the children can access them really quickly. Or, of course, you can buy one ready-made. This is ready-made. You'll see me using it in the Speedy 6, which we do every day. 6 activities for spelling, regardless of the code level. But you can see that it's so organised. The sounds that we start off with, at, p, I, green code level, going to purple code level, d, g, j, etc. Yellow level, blue level. But it means that when we're investigating words, it's really easy for the children to find the monster that they want. So supposing I was doing j, the gentle giant giggles, supposing I was doing j and I was doing a word with j, we would build them with the monsters first. That's phonetic symbol for j. There are all the options for the j sound on the back, but it just means it's really organized, and also it means you're not going to lose your cards. So you can make your own or just buy it ready-made. So back to these sentences, actually using the graphemes, using the sound picks, using the skills that we've developed, that the segmenting and the blending skills. If you look on the back, here we've got it. So now we've got it with just code mapped, and then we've got it not code mapped, which is what we're going to see in these little mini readers. And again, just to reinforce, there are 4 code levels, phonics code levels, the high frequency graphemes that we use as a means to an end, just that the children develop those skills and concepts in a scaffolded fashion. So here in the green code level, when we look at monster at, and this is the first representation that the children look at for those 6 phonemes. So here it's reinforced in order in these decodable readers. So we've got at, p, I, the same as we've got at, p, I, and this is when they're moving up to So you could see sound picks, words, sentences, the wrap. So then when they move up, and this is all in your kit as well, the Monster Mapping Kit. So this is when we move up to the purple code level. Now, so when I say move up, it's all very, you know, the children don't, it's not right, today I'm green code level, tomorrow I'm purple code level. The activities mean that they're sort of moving through. So they might become pretty fluent. They might be on the purple code level and recognizing these graphemes, but their fluency, it might just be fluent at the green code level. So even when they're moving up to the yellow code level, at that stage, they might have more fluency on the purple code level. So it's all kind of interlinked. But what I want you to understand, that it's all scaffolded. So here we've got following on, d, etc. So it's the order. So it means that they can practice in real little readers. So we've got the 4 code levels. So we've got that one where they're introduced to new concepts. Oh, so it can be represented like this as well, and like this. And look, so if I have 2 S's together, I'm not going s. It's still a representation for s. Oh, and look, here are 3. So there are more than 1 options for all the different sounds. So we should kind of put in the skills and concepts in a, you know, we just drip, drip, drip skills and concepts in there. So it's not all in one go. When we come to the yellow code level, it's things like, oh, okay, so now I've got there an S and an H. We're not going s, now we're saying sh. So now those 2 together, it's a completely different sound than if that letter was on its own. For example, in the green code level and the H in the purple code level. You know, here, this was a representation for h, but together here, they're representation sh. So it's different concepts. And like here, this Y, it's an E, like happy. It's a Y, like yell. And an I, like foot or I, fly. And you can see them down here as well. Yell, fly, happy. So with scaffolding, so you've got the blue code level. So this kit, although we've got this really good intensive early intervention for dyslexia by really focusing on 6 phonemes and how to use them, it leads in very naturally to the whole code, to the phonics code, to the high frequency graphemes. There's a high frequency graphemes. And they're also, of course, introduced to the non-high frequency graphemes. If you look at the, oh, if I can take it off. If you look at the back, they're the you know, the other representations for the sound. So this is the one that we look at in the green code level, but here are all of them. So the children are always looking at them, especially when they do the Speedy 6. Okay, so back to your kit. So what I said was that this book, which is absolute gold, this is when you start introducing the high frequency words, sight words done differently. So there's days, colours, months, weeks, whatever. So this is what it was saying about use the blue cow, which is the in the green code level until the silly schwa is really sort of looked at. So this, so the ant is in the pan. And also when they start discovering things like, oh, is it the ant is in the pan or is it the ant is in the pan, all that kind of stuff. So all of these code now. Now, once they learn the monsters, why it's so important to learn all of the monsters as soon as possible, without adult help, they can go, okay, you. They can work all of these out without help.
Instead, that's right.
Saw.
Many. So back to your kit. Inside the kit as well, you've got a sheet in there, this one, that you cut up yourself. So it explains it here. So you need to cut it up, and I've done one here for you because this is really important. It's really important to have separate. So you've got a separate strip underneath, and then you've cut up one, so you've got the cards. So separate strip, so that's the whole strip of monsters, And then on the top, you've got the individual cards, and I've just Velcroed them. But it's really important to split them, to actually cut the two strips, because to start off with, you just do everything with this. You don't use that. This is phase 1 until the children can follow the monster sounds to say the word and can also spell the words in monsters. That's when you know that they are definitely ready for these. So this is one that means that you can just cut it up yourself. You don't have to print and laminate and all. Last but not least, letter formation, sap pin, and there are all the letters of the alphabet, lowercase. On the back, it just gives you a little bit more info. Oops. And you have the whiteboard, the SSP whiteboard, so it just saves you buying one yourself. So that's all in the pack, the new Monster Mapping Kit. So all you need in addition to the Monster Mapping Kit is the SSP Monster Mapping App.
This is the one with your favourite.
Yeah.
Eyes.